Welcome back. Welcome back to the course. I hope you enjoyed the content that you saw before this, and I highly again recommend you to be part of the mailing list, ask questions, participate in the discussion, particularly bring topics that are outside the class to the class. What we're going to do in this section is to actually look at AI capabilities. Like I said in the last section, that these capabilities have changed the way that we live life, changed the way that you and I interact. Let's see what some of them are and see how much of impact that they had. And we'll also relate to this to the risks that all of this brings to us also. ChatGPT, something that is become a household application that everybody uses, from students going to school, to students going to college, to people working, people writing articles, people doing research. Everybody seems to be using this for various reasons, right? What is the situation now, right? Why have we gotten to this point? How did we end up coming to this point? What are the big changes that has happened? It's really hard, meaning it's getting very hard to differentiate between AI and human. Some of you may have heard about Turing test. Alan Turing had this test of, can we differentiate human being and a machine? I'm sure some of you would have seen or heard about or watched watched a movie based on his life, Imitation Game, right? So if you have not watched, please go take a look at the movie. And see what all kinds of things that he has done in terms of contributing to the computing world. But the context here is the Turing test, differentiate between human being and AI. I mean, I think it's getting harder and harder. Meaning, if you see a paragraph of text, and we get emails from students saying they want to work with us. Actually, as we are recording, I just recently I got an email also. I even got this email saying that, dear sir / madam. It even said name of the recipient. I mean, I'm guessing that this person, whoever sent the email, actually used ChatGPT, because when you ask the ChatGPT to give me a draft of an email that I want to send to a professor saying I want to work with you, it would have given them this template saying, dear name of the recipient. And this was actually in the email that I got also, right? Students using these platforms to draft emails that they can actually send it to us. How did we get here, right? So scaling up of algorithms, meaning I think these algorithms are getting better and better. The data that is being used to train these models are getting larger and larger. And the computing capabilities are also increasing. Computing is getting cheaper. Of course, it is having other problems in terms of power, in terms of keeping the machines cool. All of that problems are coming up because of the compute that has increased. But these are the main reasons that the capabilities of AI capabilities have increased. Right? One is scaling up of algorithms, scaling up of data for training, increasing computing capabilities. You're able to do, for example, you're able to do this saying, give me a text for sending an email for internship application, right? If you just think about it, it is able to process all of this to give you a nicely framed text, is because of algorithms have changed, algorithms have gotten better. It can read this text that we said, oh, it needs an internship letter, it needs a letter to a professor, all that. And data for it to be trained, meaning it has seen hundreds and thousands and millions of such texts of email draft, email content. So it's actually able to produce a email draft for you. Computing, because it has actually learned the models from these large data, and it is able to actually churn it out very quickly also. Meaning that's another thing that you will see, right? If you ask ChatGPT, it's not taking like, oh, come back in next 2 hours, I'll give you a draft of the email. It's just giving it to you in a few seconds. One of the things that definitely has happened is not many predicted that we would have these advancements in this short span of time. Later in this section, I'll also show you about how things have changed in last decade, 2 decades, or 3 decades. You will see that more recent, let's take 2010, 2014, from then on, things have actually progressed much, much faster than before. And of course, that's one of the bases for this class also, is worry about, oh, look, AI is actually getting better and better. Will it take over human beings' decisions, right? Will one day I will not get, my job will be gone. I will not be able to do anything without these AI technologies, or they will, I mean, I want the technology to do something. The technology will say, look, I can't do whatever you're saying because I think that it's wrong, right? And those are worries, of course, people have. We should understand, we should appreciate, we should discuss, and then think about what are the solutions that one should build for these advancements that we are having in AI technologies. I just did a small Google search about AI capabilities, and I was looking at what are the things that Google is producing, or what are the things that people are talking, particularly in news, right? So if you look at it, engaging with government on AI, see big opportunities, Ravi Jain, right? Kruthrim's is a company, I think, here. Types of artificial intelligence that you should know in 2024. Right. And then iOS 18 set of iOS 18 set of revolutionized Siri with new, I think this is also coming. People have been talking about it for some time. MediaTek set to unveil demystify 93,000 chipset would come with advanced AI capabilities on May 7th. Right. I'm sure if you do AI capabilities, as you watch the video, just pause this video, go to your browser and search for the same thing, AI capabilities, and go to news and see what all it produces, and then come back to this video, right? So the capabilities, I think this topic itself is growing and growing, and I think it's just influencing everything that we do, I guess. So that's slightly broader until now what I said. Let's just focus on technology. Let's focus on the computing side and see what is that we can learn from it. If you look at capabilities, you can broadly put them into vision, reinforcement learning, language, and multi-paradigm. Multi-paradigm could be multimodal, all of that. So vision, reinforcement learning, language, and multi-paradigm. Let's look at each one of them. I'm going to walk you through some examples in each. and discuss some advancement that has happened, how the things were before and how things are now, look at some comparisons, all that. 2014, don't worry about, I mean, I think my intent here is to just show you the capabilities that we had. Given the topic is AI capabilities, I want to walk you through the capabilities of AI over a period of time. Right? If you don't understand, if you don't get sort of the details of these algorithms, how it is working, that's not the intent for this section. Our goal is to say that, look, somebody at some point in time, people were trying to recognize numbers, and how well did they do, right? People were trying to produce faces. Did it get better? So if you look at this, right? Can I learn from these and then able to identify any numbers given to me, faces given to me, face recognition systems, right? This is what it was in 2014. Just see how things have changed from 2014, the quality of image that is there to the quality of image in 2019. Right? And all of these images were generated by AI systems, algorithms particularly, right? So this was, all the algorithms are written here, all the papers are tagged here, but the quality of images increased tremendously, right? 2014 to 2019. But of course, 2019 till now, it's even gotten better. Look at this. 2020, the face, particularly if you look at, let's look at some of these prompts that have been put here. Image generated with the prompt of a couple of people are sitting on a wood bench. It's understood as a couple of people. It probably decided to have it as a couple itself. This one is more interesting. It says Pomeranian is sitting on the king's throne wearing a crown. Two tiger soldiers are standing next to the throne. Right? Quality of image again. I think the way in which these things have developed also is interesting, right? New algorithms, GANs, transformers, diffusion models, scaling of compute and data used during training. All of this is the reason why we're able to get to here from here. Right. And of course, things have just exponentially changed after this way in which these models are built. Those are these words, transformers, diffusion models, right? So if you look at a prompt saying a portrait photo of kangaroo wearing an orange hoodie and a blue sunglass, standing on the grass in front of Sydney Opera House, holding a sign on the chest that says "Welcome, friends." And just think about it, right? So if you look at this, the text is not really there. Opera, I'm not too sure. It's not really clear whether it is kangaroo, and it's also not very natural. I think that's one of the metric that we'll see later, how these text output that we're getting, these language models results, and this vision model results, how they work. If you see here, again, the images are much more natural, right? Opera is probably correct. Welcome, friends is probably good. Here it is different. And these are called parameters. We'll see as part of this class, I think as parallel to this sessions in the initial first few weeks. We're also planning to supplement some content for the basics of ML. If you don't have a full background, we are planning to cover some topics which will help you to catch up with some of these terminologies at least. We'll see how that goes. But there'll be hands-on, more so like tutorial, more so like walkthrough sessions as part of many of these components of the class. Right. This one is a prompt of United States made out of sushi. It's on the table next to a glass of red wine. Right. So something like from here, it's gotten probably much better here. Why? I think going back to the slide which says computing, data, algorithms, those are the reasons why it's gotten much better. Yeah, a squirrel here gives an apple to a bird, and no, the bird itself is not here, whereas if you see here, the quality is much better. The quality is much better, the details are there, it's much more natural, it's much more appealing. Yeah, so those are the things that we should keep in mind, the strength of these models now. Yeah, I think in the last section I mentioned about, look, I also tried making images as part of my course creation. This is the output that I got, where the prompt was Professor teaching responsible and safe AI course at IIIT Hyderabad for 70 students. First it gave this, and then I said, look, I'm not too sure whether I wear full pants that often, particularly when I teach. It's not very often that I wear full pants. Can it change? So it came up with this. But if you look at these images, the images are also, some topic that we will specifically come back later, is also the images are pretty good. I think it got whatever it's supposed to do. A professor also, it kind of decided that a professor should be a male in both cases. And if you look at students also, it kind of, majority of the students are men. There's one girl here. This image at least was better. There are multiple girls taking the class. A bias, a stereotype, whatever you want to use the word. All of these words we used in the last section of the course, so I'm kind of connecting to that topic. And these are, again, research output that has shown that the quality of image generation is increasing. This is 2019. Again, the intent here is not for you to look at every image and see how good or how bad it is, but the quality of image. Just compare this with 2021. Right, the path in a tropical forest, construction site activity, cloud moving, sunset at sea. Look at this, right? So I'm sure some of you, whoever has been following the more latest ones, Sora type of platforms, you would be seeing these much better. You would have seen what is current. But the goal for this content is how things have progressed, right? The capabilities of these systems progressed, and the quality of these images and videos. The last one is video generation. This is image, how the quality has changed. Right, so this is the one I mentioned about Sora. The quality of these output is actually phenomenal, right? So how please go take a look at this GIF or the video on this website, which will give you how the quality of the images, quality of the video also. Right? So that's the first one. If you look at tiny plants sprout coming out of land, that is the teddy bear running, and look at the quality of these parachutes, so to say, color, right? That's about the videos, images. Just extend this discussion to video games. Initial part of the games were something like this. I know that anybody has seen this in current generation, but this is how the games used to be. Like the Pong or the Breakout, all of these games used to be, right? If you look at this. In 2018, StarCraft or Dota, these things started actually becoming a little better with the quality of images. Actually, these games also started bringing in a lot more components to these games, right? Meaning there is a life, there is points, there is, meaning if you go back to the earlier games, there were few things that were possible to do as part of these games, whereas now there are many more things that are possible to do as part of this games itself. Right? Live multiplayer games, right? Multiplayer games also is very popular. I'm sure many of you taking this class are probably more expert than me in these online games. This is AlphaGo. AlphaGo is a board game which is like a chess game but very hard to play. The rules of the games are very simple, but it's extremely hard to get better at it. So AlphaGo, this is a picture from when DeepMind created AlphaGo for playing against Lee Sedol, who's supposedly an expert in this topic, extremely successful in terms of human being playing this game and very competitive. AlphaGo was able to actually beat him in the 5 games that they played. I think the 5 games that they played, first 3 games, I think DeepMind won, and then Lee Sedol won the next one, and then the last game, I think DeepMind, the AlphaGo won again. Right. People were surprised both ways about AlphaGo being so influential in terms of winning the games, and also to understand how AlphaGo was able to actually come back and beat him in the 5th game. I think these are progressions. Again, if you're interested, please go read about it, and if you want to talk about it, please come back. Please ask us some questions. I'll be happy to chat about it in the live sessions or in the mailing list also. So those were games that were like strategies are smaller. Sometimes the strategies can actually get very complicated. The dimensions may be many more, and it's much more harder to play the strategy games, right? Strategy games like diplomacy, where where there are you have to make alliances, you have to make negotiations, and there is this aspect of deceiving the other players who are part of this game. All of that happens as part of the diplomacy game, and the intent for me to put it here is that such games are also have started the AI capabilities have helped make these games also better and make these games also play in terms of with the AI capabilities that has gotten better. Essentially, these games which are hard to play, now you can actually use AI systems to play with it. So those were sort of the idea about the images, idea about image generation, video generation, and games that people play. How AI capabilities have actually penetrated, particularly in terms of the quality of the images that is there, the dimensions of the decisions that one has to play in the games. Now let's look at text. Text is probably the more common way by which many of us will understand the AI capabilities also, because particularly because of ChatGPT, the more easier to look at how the capabilities have improved. Text generation, common sense question answering, and planning and strategic thinking. I mean, I've just broken down into 3 categories, but I'm sure there are many more ways to look and understand the language-based tasks and how language side of AI capabilities have actually improved over years. If you look at the models in 2011, same thing, right? A prompt, the meaning of life is, and then if you look at the output, the meaning of life is the tradition of the ancient human reproduction. It is less favorable to the good boy for when to remove her, bigger. In the show's agreement unanimously resurfaced. I'm just reading a few sentences so you will understand that the capabilities in 2011 versus the capabilities that you are using ChatGPT at the level, right? So if you look at it, there are like issues in terms of construction, issues in terms of language. Some sentences are not even connected to each other, and things like that. The meaning of life is the tradition of the ancient human production. It is less favorable to the boy. Yeah, right. So this is the output, completing the prompt. In 2019, it got a little better. Miley Cyrus was caught shoplifting from Abercrombie and Fitch on the Hollywood Boulevard today. The 19-year-old singer was caught on camera. So, meaning, given a prompt, can you actually write a paragraph? I mean, today I'm very sure that journalists who write articles are using these language models to actually make their content much more impressive. Right? I use it. I use these language models to some of the things that I do. Of course, all of us should do, right? The capabilities are there. Why not? And of course, we have to understand, we have to cite, I mean, at least in the academic world, we want to make sure that students, when they use, tell us that they're using. When researchers use, tell us that they're using. So yeah, if that part is taken care of, I think these capabilities should be used for the betterment of whatever you are doing. So the completion, the prompt is getting completed by the 19-year-old singer was caught on camera being escorted out of the store by security guards. The singer was wearing a black hoodie with the label blurred lines on the front and fashion police on the back. The singer was also wearing a pair of black rimmed glasses, a black jacket, black jeans, and a black sandals. She was carrying a pair of black and white strips, gloves, and a small black bag. Wow, there's so much of black, right? That's 2019. If you look at 2020, the parameters have, of course, have increased. So here it says United Methodist agree to historic split. Those who oppose gay marriage will, from their gay marriage will from their own denomination, and after 2 days of intense debate, the United Methodist Church has agreed to a historic split, one that is expected to end in the creation of a new denomination, one that will be theologically and socially conservative. The formations have gotten better and better. This is where I think ChatGPT, OpenAI became the, so to say, place to go to, where it was given to, system was made public, and people started using it. And it looks like OpenAI also did not expect that the system would be so, I mean, it would have penetrated the society so much. I think there are pieces of information saying OpenAI put it only for understanding some public feedback so that they can actually build the next model better. But the model that they put out itself was so good that people started using it so much, and definitely they got more and more inputs for the models to get better. Write a biblical verse in the style of the King James Bible explaining how to remove a peanut butter sandwich from a VCR. And it came to pass that a man was troubled by a peanut butter sandwich, for it had been placed within his VCR, and he knew not how to remove it, meaning very, very biblical text that is the output for removing the peanut butter from the VCR. And then the Google's 2022 model, POM model, all of these also, I mean, parallel, I'm sure you understand. OpenAI, I think later at some point in the deck, I have a list of different tools like this that has been developed. OpenAI, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, right? All of them are working on building these models, and all of them wanted a model, are still working towards getting their models better and better. And every day, I think some model is getting introduced, and something is changing to the betterment of whatever we had from previous day. Explaining a joke, I'll explain these jokes. So the idea for these slides is not to go through each one of them, every content, every word that is written, but to tell you that, look, the idea of text completion, the idea of these models where prompting and getting text from these models have just improved over a period of time in different contexts, right? Question answering system is what we are talking about here. I'll explain these jokes, A, B, and then input is I was supposed to start writing the paper at 5 p.m. but then I started playing with this cool new language model for 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, it's suddenly 9:30 p.m. The joke is about how time flies when you're having fun, right? So that's very, very well understood, or explaining the joke in terms of these texts. These also, I mean, I think these have gotten better, but initial models, if you see prompt, what movie does this emoji describe? Robo, cockroach, plant, and the world. LA Confidential, Wally, Leon, the professional, Big, Rush. It says Wally. Right? It's kind of picking up some. I mean, I think this part is to show that. I mean, I actually use these language models very, very regularly for emoji. I give it a paragraph and say, "Can you just add some emojis in this paragraph and give it to me?" So it does a pretty good job in terms of figuring out what emoji to attach to what text.